Cindy Collins. I'm with Oldies 103.3, but we talked many times when we were when I was at another station. And if you need help promoting your ARF thing,
I'll call you.
I know. You ready?
Let's do it this way.
All right, so now.
This is my bad eye.
Oh.
Can we do that?
I don't care. Whatever you like.
Yeah.
And
my good eye.
obviously we got to pretend like I don't already know the answers. Okay. So I'm at Lumiere Place. Outstanding event tonight. Looking back at the 2011 season with former Cardinal manager Tony LaRussa. I hate to say that after 16 great seasons. What's it like for you to get to relive this last season again?
The nice thing about it is, Cindy, that once it's over, you can actually try to enjoy it, and there's so much to enjoy. The team was so courageous, the way they hung in there, and at the end, they were heroic. And the other part is that our fans totally got it. They loved the fact that we didn't give up, and we hung in there and made a run. And I think they were a little bit incredulous that we actually got to the last day of the year, and hey, we snuck in, and then we just were unbeaten.
And I know that I thought at the end of the season I would much rather have a team who was fighting so hard to get there than a team that clinched 2 weeks before. It seems like that momentum gets lost when that happens.
There's no doubt about it. A lot of what happens in sports is human nature. And if you clinch early, no matter if you've got the greatest leaders in the world, human nature is you lose an edge because you'll just relax a little, and competition is about maintaining your edge. Well, if you're forced to do that to the last day of the season, by definition, you may be a little exhausted and you may be hurt going in. But if you're decently healthy, you do carry a tremendous amount of momentum, and that's what we had.
Following the Cardinals through the end of the season was so much stress on the fans. I can't imagine what it was like for the team and for the manager. Give me just a couple of comments about what that was like for you.
I actually think it's tougher on the fans because you're watching. At least the players, it's in their control. And if you're a coaching staff or the manager, you're a little closer, but it's still the player's game. And, we were stressed, but I think the worst thing is you're watching and all you're doing is hoping this guy makes a pitch, that guy gets a hit, and they were rewarded. Our fans were so supportive. They refused to give up, and we refused to give up, and look what we ended up with.
I was lucky enough to be at Game 6. I think, without a doubt, the best World Series game ever played. And the way the Cardinals just kept coming back and coming back. Then you got to Game 7. The Rangers came out and scored, and the Cardinals came right back. I felt like I could feel the air come out of the Rangers at that point. Did you have any kind of feeling like that?
Absolutely, no doubt. I thought we had talked about that we had great respect for the Rangers, and we felt they would be ready to play Game 7, even though, excuse me, we broke their heart the night before. So when they scored the 2, our club being ready itself, and David Freese had an incredible offseason. He drove in the 2 to tie it. I think it was exactly the right message to send to them, and gave Carp just a little bit of, hey, and from then on he would not be denied.
Let's talk a little bit about your retirement. I know you've got the ARF thing going, but what are you going to do day in and day out with yourself?
Well, I just retired from the dugout, Cindy. I'm going to work, and I got a lot of balls in the air. Most of what I know is baseball, and some way, somehow, I think in 2012 I'll be involved in baseball some way.
Are you going to be one of those guys that retires for a season or two and then gets lured back?
I don't think so. I promised myself, I promised everybody, this is it. Because if you're going to be lured back, you get lured back to manage the 2012 Cardinals. That's a great team. But, they're in good hands with Mike. The ownership's still there. The general manager's still there. The team's there. No, I'm going to do something else, but I won't manage.
I read that the baseball commissioner said even though you're not an active manager at this time, he would look at bringing you back to manage the National League in the All-Star Game next year. If he says it's a go, are you a go?
Oh, absolutely. I love the All-Star Game, coaching, managing. I've heard he's considering it. I guess there's a little precedent. If he wants to go in that direction, I'm ready to go. I would love to be a part of it, but if it goes a different way, I'm the one that retired, so I have no kicks.
I know you've been pretty vocal about the Albert Pujols situation, especially the fan backlash against Albert. Take just a minute to talk about that.
Well, he's very upset. Our fans are upset. There's no winner there. Excuse me. I just hope, because I'm not involved and nobody will say, hey, he's the manager and he's got a vested interest. I'm an outsider who has great respect for the Cardinal organization and great affection and respect for the player. I think the system is the culprit. Unless you print money like 3 teams do, you can't keep your franchise player. And I think the Cardinals did the best they could, and they got to here. And if they went farther than that, they would not be smart. Albert got the message that they were not actively going after him because they were careful not to set the market, and he got overwhelmed up here. The thing I'm telling the fans is that Albert was willing to give a tremendous hometown discount to the Cardinals. Therefore, give him credit for that, but even that discount was not where the Cardinals could rightfully go. And wish him well in Anaheim, I do.
How hard do you think it was for him to walk away from a team where he could have been treated like Stan Musial in his retirement? I mean, I looked at that and thought, how do you walk away from that kind of fan loyalty?
Well, believe me when I tell you, and I'm speaking for him because I know for a fact he understood all that. He's a very sensitive guy. He's very aware of where he was in history relative to the Cardinals and the Cardinal greats like Stan, Red, Lou, all those great players. And it was a very painful decision. Our fans ought to know he stressed over this. His wife Dee, it was not what they wanted to do. They were in a can't-win situation as far as staying. People may dispute that, but I'm giving my opinion. Whoops, there goes the camera.
Bring that back up and we'll start over. Start back with just D. Okay?
Yeah, I don't think our fans really want to hear that Albert and Dee are painting and struggling, because they're our fans, but they are. And they felt very strongly if there was any way they could stay. I just don't think there was a way. The way the rules are set up, that's why I say blame the system. Right. Don't blame the Cardinals.
And the fans don't want to pay more for tickets.
No.
I mean, at some point you have to draw the line. Cardinals drew it.
Yeah.
All right, so you're in town tonight up here at Lumiere Theater. You're coming back in January for something totally different. Give us a plug for what you've got going on in January.
Well, I appreciate that. I think the vibes between myself and our fans is strong enough that we're going to do the Art Show, the entertainment show, on January 14th at the Peabody. Beautiful venue. But we're going to add on Friday the 13th a baseball review of our season with some real good video and some commentary by myself. And here at Lumiere, we had a great time at Skip and Dave and John Jay. And I think the people here they saw, the respect and affection we have for each other. They're a great group. I was very fortunate to be a part of it. And I want to talk about that on Friday the 13th.
Okay, and where do people find out about getting tickets?
I think just call Peabody. I think the tickets are for sale. It's very $25, and the art show on Saturday is not expensive either. So if you want to go to the receptions afterward, that's more expensive. But it's a great show, and whether it's baseball on Friday or music on Saturday, I hope people will come out.
All right. Tony LaRussa, thank you for 16 amazing years with the Cardinals, and for continuing to keep St. Louis kind of in your circle.
Thanks a lot. I plan to be here a long time afterwards.